We have all experienced meeting someone with a regional or foreign accent. Oftentimes, we go away from the conversation asking, from what part of the world do they live? Articulation can often reveal a speaker's area of the world or region. So what do speakers do to their articulation to create a foreign accent? Speech pathologists study articulation patterns of speakers. When a foreign accent interferes with the listener's understanding of the speaker's speech, speech pathologists can intervene with foreign accent reduction drills. Is a foreign accent a disorder? No. It is a speech difference. When listening to a speaker with a strong accent, the listener may even need to rely on lip reading to foster understanding. So, what happens in a foreign accent? Well, speakers use vowel substitutions, saying one vowel for another vowel. Consonant omissions, leaving off a sound in the word completely. And glottal stops, abruptly closing the space between the vocal cords, and the sound you hear is a glottal stop. The rainbow passage is commonly used by speech pathologists to practice speech drills with clients. This passage is sound balanced. An excerpt from this passage was read by 2 University of Mary students. The first read by Thomas, an example of the Midwest accent. The second was read by Alex, an example of an English accent. Let's listen to speakers 1 and 2. As you will notice, they're reading the same passage, but will the speech pattern sound different? Let's find out. Let's first analyze Thomas's audio. His articulation patterns are very reflective of Midwestern United States.
When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors.
Thomas's speech is a great example of a Midwestern accent, very sound balanced, common to each of us in this room. Now, let's listen to Alex's audio. Notice the articulatory differences.
When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors.
Alex's articulation is different than the Midwestern accent and speech patterns. So, what's in an English accent? Well, vowel substitutions, consonant omissions, glottal stops, all in that short 20 seconds. Let's listen to Alex one more time, and I want you to listen for these articulation changes. Notice on this next slide that while his audio is playing, I have changed the spelling of these words to reflect the phonic pronunciation of his speech. Look for the question mark. It's used as a symbol indicating use of a glottal stop in his speech.
When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors.
All right, here we go. When the sunlight, he changed the vowel on sun. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air. Raindrops. We say raindrops. In the air, the R was completely omitted. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they are like a prism. A prism. The C and the T were omitted, replaced by a glottal stop in the word act. Like, the K was omitted and replaced with a glottal stop. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they are a prism and foam a rainbow. Form, omission of R. Rainbow, a vowel substitution. The rainbow is a division of into many beautiful colors. Great use of glottal stops. This research just about sent me out of speech pathology school. Imagine studying this chart. This chart is widely used on a daily basis by speech pathologists. So you may ask, is speech pathology an art or a science? Researchers by the names of Chomsky and Halley studied the genetic makeup or the DNA of sounds based on distinctive features of these sounds. Either the feature was present or not present, marked by a plus or a minus. This chart is the result of their research. Across the top row, we see symbols of the International Phonetic Alphabet. Down the left-hand column are listed categories of genetic features of a sound. The change of one genetic feature will give us a completely different sound. Very similar, but one feature can change it. Distinctive features are used daily to analyze speech patterns, and these were used to analyze Alex's speech. We have scientific proof that foreign accent is not in our imagination. So why is this research important to the study of a foreign accent? This research is used to understand differences. The art of speech is adding sing-song, emotion, inflection, and intonation to our expressive language. This adds spice and interest to our communication. Proving speech is both art and science. Remember, Alex's speech is widely accepted as correct. We North Dakotans visiting England would face the same accent challenges, leaving listeners asking the question, from what area of the world do they live? So when you are engaged in a conversation with a foreign accent speaker, you can do two things. Listen to the content of the message, analyze the articulation changes. Speech is both an art and science. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Cindy. May we have another?
Yes, you might.
Okay. Hey, just a quick question here. If somebody wanted to learn a little bit more, where would be a good place for them to start?
Well, when Thomas asked me to do this talk, this was way out of my comfort zone. So I had to do a little dusting of the books and going online. So if you're really interested in what's going on, simply go to Google and type in videos of foreign accent, and you will find all kinds. It was very interesting.
Cool. And one other thing, what's the most interesting part about your job?
Well, on a day-to-day basis, in my comfort zone, I work with children ages 2 to 7. And we just received a letter yesterday from a grateful parent, and she expressed hopelessness. She just wasn't seeing the gains she was hoping. She even considered herself a little impatient. So that's when counseling really is important to our families and to our kids, to reassure them and give them hope that they are making changes and we can prove it. We just need to be patient. She further stated that when he started, he was only understood about 33% of the time. And when he was all done, he graduated yesterday, received his certificate of completion, and now close to 100% understood. Wow, what a profession, right?
Very good. Everybody, Cindy Neff. Thank you very much, Cindy.